Welcome to the Green Podcast. My name is Dylan Welch. I'm the CEO of green.org and Dylan Welch Media. Our goal with this podcast is to bring you the biggest names and leaders in renewable energy, clean technology, and sustainability so that you can stay up to date with the latest trends and everything that is happening in this world. Not only that, you'll get some action items for your life so that you can apply some amazing things and make your world a better place as well. Let's get the show started. All right, I'm very excited for our next interview on stage. We have Sam Fletcher, the CEO of Odyssey Adventures. Sam, come on out here, brother. Let's give it up for Sam, guys. All right. Grab a seat. Let's see if any of these work. Check, check, check. All right.
Thank you, sir.
So, who here has done scuba diving before? Anybody certified? Isn't it like the coolest thing ever, basically? So, Sam, tell us a little bit about how you first started scuba diving.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So my journey with scuba diving started about 10 years ago, so not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. But it actually started with my mother, who's like my hero, a super badass woman. She's been diving actually since the 70s. So she took some time off to raise me and my sister, and then about 10 years ago, she asked me if I wanted to get into scuba diving, and we went to Oahu, and that's where I learned to scuba dive. And it was a true aha moment when, the first time you drop below the waves, it's like a religious experience, really. And ever since then, I've just always wanted to learn more and more and conserve the ocean, and put all my effort into that.
Nice. So how did you go from being a fan of scuba diving to starting Odyssey Adventures, your scuba diving company?
Yeah, good question. So actually, it looks like there's some other brew people in the crowd too, but I actually started off brewing with Carl Strauss Brewing Company.
Hey, there you go.
So I was a junior brewer there. I actually noticed that one of the beers up there was the Mosaic. I think you were drinking it, yeah? And I was like, oh, I used to help brew that one. Yeah, so definitely have some insight into that world as well. Super cool company in the craft brew scene. And once the pandemic started, things changed, and I actually had some time to sit and with my thoughts and think about my life.
That can be scary sometimes.
It was very scary.
Especially during COVID.
Very scary, yes. So during that time, Carl wanted me to come back and everything. He said, just sit tight, we'll bring you back. And I love that company, but what I really wanted to do was a passion project at that point. And I said, hey, what am I passionate about? Obviously scuba diving. So I started the company, I think in June 2020. So not considered the most ideal time to start a new company. But I knew people were really looking for an outlet in nature, and whether that be like bike riding, surfing, scuba diving. So I felt it was a good time to branch out and put everything into that and start my own company.
Well, congratulations, because it's grown so much. I got certified with Sam's company around that time, yes. And it was by far one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. Like, it's just one of the coolest things I've ever done. And I really enjoy, diving with you. You're really safe. You make it fun. But I also know you put a lot into your conservation efforts with your company. So tell us a little bit about what you've done on the conservation side for scuba diving in the ocean.
Yeah, and actually Dylan's just signed up for his advanced class. So
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we'll go deep now.
Night dives.
So yeah, with the conservation aspect, actually started for me in 2019. I got onto a project in Indonesia where I got to do shark and turtle research. Sharks are my favorite animal, and it was a really life-changing experience for me. With the sharks, we actually got to, in Indonesia, it's a big finning area. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's a horrible trade of they fin the living sharks and throw them back into the water still alive just for soup. So what we did out there was really unique. Instead of a lot of people just like villainize the fishermen, but that's really the lowest end of the kind of the spectrum. They're just trying to feed their family and, whatever money, whatever they can put on their plate. So what we did is we actually went out there and educated the fishermen, and actually they know where the sharks are. So we would hire them out, and they would actually bring us to the shark areas, and we would collect DNA samples, and we would include them in that process. And so they really felt ownership in it. And we also were teaching them and showing them the actual numbers of how ecotourism is much more profitable than actually finning. And a living shark is worth like $1.2 million over the course of its life, compared to a couple $100 one time. So that was really cool. We also did a turtle conservation project. We were out there too, where we would use facial recognition software, and each turtle has its own unique thumbprint, if you will, with their facial scales. So we could track their movement and not being very invasive. So that was super fun, just to kick it with giant sea turtles all day, and yeah.
That's awesome. And tell us about this right here. What do you got going on?
Yeah, so that was some work we did abroad. Now we are currently doing a project in collaboration with Cousteau Divers, and that is Jacques Cousteau's nephew, and also the Walter Munk Foundation. It's kind of ripped off there, but two local amazing nonprofits. And this is a prototype that connects to your BCD, your buoyancy control device, basically right up on your shoulder. And it's really cool because it's a citizen scientist project. You don't need to know how to use it. You don't need to know how to do anything. You just dive with us and have fun. And you can track the data. So you can go online, check it out. It collects a couple different things, depth, salinity, temperature. It drops a GPS location, all with the hopes of using that information to push the government for more MPAs or marine protected areas.
That's awesome. Well, the reason I started green.org was because I wanted to highlight people who have built successful businesses, but also in a certain way give back to the environment, or at least try to. And it's been amazing watching your business grow. I'll hit up Sam to hang out and be like, sorry, I've got a trip to Catalina that I got to go take a bunch of divers on. I'm like, damn, how do I hang out with you? And he's like, if you get your advanced certification, we can hang out all the time. So if anyone's interested in getting certified to go scuba diving, Sam's the guy. Sam, what are some of your goals and your vision for the future of Odyssey Adventures?
Yeah, so we're still a young company, but in 3 years we've grown over 30% each year, and it's a boutique company. We offer really unique experiences. That's what it's all about for us, with a focus obviously on conservation. We think the more divers we get in the water, the more conservationists we will have. So the future, right now we have basically 2 boats right now, one in San Diego, one in Catalina. Dylan's been out there. Actually, you've been on both boats. Yeah. And we have 4 staff members now, so we are growing. So for the future, I really hope to someday be able to kind of hand off the reins to some of my staff and start doing conservation full time. And keep growing and be able to offer good jobs for local people. So,
guys, let's give it up for Sam. Literally, the American dream went from pandemic to starting a business, employing people, and continuing to grow and giving back, doing positive things at the same time. Sam, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I believe you're raffling off an Odyssey sweatshirt, is that correct? Mia, if you don't mind coming on up here. And after the event, we'll be sharing links for all the companies that come up on stage. So if you're interested in learning more about scuba diving with Sam, you can have that opportunity. There's a cool little picture of Sam up there, in case you didn't see it. And let's raffle off this prize. What do we got?
All right, you guys ready? 3, 6, 1, 2, 6, 7.
3, 6, 1, 2, 6, 7. Do we have a winner? 3, 6, 1, 2, 6, 7. All right, let's pull another.
Next one?
Oh, we got one over here. There we go. Stay there. We'll get your prize after. Let's give it up for Sam, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning into the episode. My name is Dylan Welch. Appreciate it. As always, stay up to date with the latest information on green.org and dylanwelch.com. Dylan Welch Media is a full-service media and communications agency dedicated to promoting, marketing, and helping businesses in clean tech, renewable energy, and sustainability grow, get more clients, get more customers, get in front of their ideal clientele. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. If you're interested in joining the Green Summit, go to www.green-summit.org. Reserve your ticket today. There's very few spots left, so make sure you get on that ASAP. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.